Hey friends, Russ here again, having more Daisy Lever Gun fun. We had a special request here at Daisy Lever Gun Fun by one of our friends who follows what we're doing here and watching the videos. Wanted to know why we never talk too much about the older model Red Ryders, specifically a Model 94 Red Ryder. Now, let's not get these confused with the 1894 guns that are the spit and image ones that look kind of like those Winchesters. However, back in the day, between 1954 and 1957, Daisy came out with something they call the Red Ryder Model 94 Red Ryder. Now, before that, starting in 1940, they came out with what we recognize as a usual Red Ryder, and it would be something like this. This one happens to be one of the iterations with the plastic forearm. It has the wooden stock, nice embossed Red Ryder, the caricature on here, Fred Harmon's signature. This is what the 11140s looked like. They started making those back in 1940, right up until they were interrupted by the Second World War. Here's another feature of one of those 111 Model 40s. It also had the molded forearm. This one's almost straight. That's kind of nice. Most of them look like a hot dog. It has the matching buttstock, which is plastic, and it's actually not in that bad a condition. Little bit of bowing on here, not much. But you see what they did? They put in relief a picture of Red Ryder on his horse. It says on here, Daisy, Red Ryder in block letters. And it looks pretty nice. This one, I'm surprised that the stock is in that good a shape, because most of the ones that I come by look something like this. They get warped, they get smashed in places. Usually the warping goes right over top of the Red Ryder. Sometimes the nose on these are broken off. I did a repair on this one. I was able to tap thread on that, put some hard epoxy on there. So this is actually able to be put back onto a gun, although I've been holding off because of the condition of the rest of it. Now, after the war, between 1945, 46, and right up until 1954, Daisy started their production of the Red Ryder in a different iteration. This is what they had. Look at that front sight. Isn't that something? It's got a plastic forearm. I don't know if you can tell too much on that forearm band, but there is etching on there that is just beautiful. And it says the Daisy bullseye across the top of the forearm, and more etching on this side. There is a hole there, as there is a hole up here in case you were going to have your strap, your sling go on it. There's a hole back here, but there's no loop. There would be a loop there if there was a sling for it. Also, what they did on these was put a fake hammer on the, doesn't do anything, on the stock. It's a plastic stock, and this one's in nice shape. This is one that I don't intend to do too much to because it's in such good shape. But where the logo is on here, it says Daisy Model 94, Red Ryder Carbine, and that's bridging between the horns of a longhorn steer. Maybe you can see that. Let me get that out of the glare. There it is. So that's what they did. And they also had an applique, a gold applique on the side. This one's pretty well worn off. Now on this side, it's drilled and has the threaded plugs for a side scope, if that's your pleasure to do. But this is also a Plymouth gun. They made these up until 1957. And you say, well, in 1957, they were winding down production in Plymouth, and in 1958, they picked up production in Rogers, Arkansas. That's true. And they had a very similar gun to this one, to the 94, which went into production in Rogers, but they dropped the name Red Ryder on it for some reason until later on, I think in the 70s, because you can tell it doesn't say Red Ryder either on the top, like where this says Model 94 Daisy Red Ryder on here. Okay, it doesn't say that on the gun, and it also doesn't say that on the stock. What it does say is the Model 94 Western Carbine. So if you have one that says 94 Western Carbine, don't think that it's a Red Ryder. It's built similar, but I'll bet you if it says that, it's going to say somewhere on the top of that gun that it came from Rogers, Arkansas, and not Plymouth, Michigan. Okay, well, I hope that satisfies some of the curiosity about different models. Now, there are, my gosh, more different etchings and reliefs and colorings of the stocks and so forth than I can shake a stick at. But here's just a quick little note. In the 11140s, these ones in the back, you might see those with a wooden stock. You might see them with a plastic stock. You might see them with a plastic forearm. You might see them with a wooden forearm. Whenever you do see them, though, a 11140, typically, because it's an earlier gun from Plymouth, it's always going to have this type of cocking lever with a low pivot. This model here was whenever they started changing to the high pivot on the cocking lever, it was a little easier to cock. And even though this is a Red Ryder, one of the other differences from the earlier models, and from the current models for that matter, instead of having the curved wrist on them and the curved lever, this gun has the straight lever, straight thin wrist. There it is, folks. If you have anything to add or anything else you wanted to ask about these, hey, give us a comment. Love to hear from you. Don't forget, if you're not subscribing, do it, and we'll be able to talk. And I guess we'll see you next time. Have a great day.